All right, let me get ready. Good morning, Kumatalibu. How are you? Ihama. Jumbo. All right, I got to move things around. Okay, this window could be there, but this window has to be here. Then I got to resize. So much to do, so many complications. All right. All right, it's a good one. Let me turn the music down. All right. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of pompadours? Gee whiz. With the overriding goal of lowering our risk. Why? Because trading is risky and not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, it's not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble. Focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose, sir. My name is Wayne. My daughter picked a flower for you. This is from our garden. It's weird. I walked the dog today about, 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun just came up. It's February, and I had a light winter jacket on, and it was way too warm. Way too warm. I'm like, oh, God. So I took the jacket off, and I just walked around in a T-shirt at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was warm and humid. You're like, oh, thank you, global warming. Thank you, capitalism. So anyways, wowzer. I heard in Innsbruck, when you're out in Europe, even the people that are out in the skiing village like Innsbruck, they're having lunch outside in the warm sun. It's supposed to be freezing cold in a place like that. That's sort of what, Germany, Austria, out in there. You know, man, that's supposed to be cold this time of year. But anywho, good morning. It's a Friday. I apologize to everybody in the swing trading group. I thought I clicked the button to record. Didn't you see me click the button? Didn't it say it was recording? Well, there's no recording. Sorry. I don't know what happened. I didn't. There was dozens of us and nobody noticed that it wasn't recording. But I thought it was. I even thought I clicked the stop recording button at the end. I don't know. Maybe it's been recording for 12 hours straight. I don't know. Maybe I should check that out. But anyways, it didn't appear. Yeah, I thought I did because, yeah. So anyways, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a humble currency trader. So one of the things we talked about yesterday was, buy some dollar. And, well, that seemed to be pretty good. So that's working out great today. So we'll go through the stock market, gold, oil, Bitcoin, and some dollar pairs, maybe some yen pairs. It's up to you, really, what you want me to cover. I don't know. I never show up with, the agenda of me babbling. But I'm a babbler. If you get me going on a topic, fundamentals, trader psychology, I'll babble your ear off. But that's only because you led me there. So you're the boss. I'm a humble male model. So I do my best to please. In the description below the video, there's links to my book. Please leave a... Has anyone left a review lately on the book? I know a few of you a couple of weeks ago did. Did anyone leave a review lately? Like, Wayne, this is the worst. Third, You should say, it's the 9th worst book ever written. I'm like, oh, cool. And Jim, yeah. I leave one review every day, once a week. Cool. All right. Oh, and for those that are using my super secret fundamentally based alert service, I'd like 2 or 3, maybe 4 people to give feedback publicly, like almost a testimonial. I'm most interested in, like, are you using it to save time? Are you using it to save money? Are you using it because it makes things easier? Is it, do you use it because it makes the, complexity more readable? That kind of stuff. Like, how, is it a time saver? Okay. Very, 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 very soon. No, you can buy it, but I'm not really promoting it, right? But it's like, I don't want you to throw something together. Thank you, Lucas. I know in this, you can't see the chat, I don't think, but people are responding in the chat. No, I like in the presentation, it'd be great if I said, hey, Lucas, you've been using the super secret fundamentally based alert service for several months now. Lucas, first of all, who are you? And you're like, oh, you've known me for a while now. You're a farmer, but you're interested in commodities and currencies and all that kind of stuff. Cool. So that's interesting, So then how do you use it? Right. And then maybe Johnny comes in. I'm like, oh, Johnny, you used to work in the Navy and now you're a foreign exchange trader. Like, what an interesting leap. Okay. Now, Johnny, how do you use it? Right. Jim, you were a Marine. Cool. You used to, and so now you're a trader and investor. You have a lot of experience. Great. So now how are you using it? Maybe Denise, how does she use it? That kind of stuff. And then that's enough. But it'd be interesting to see there's, let's say, 4 people using it differently, or use it in different ways, or it's a benefit to them in different ways, and that kind of stuff. So anywho, so it'd be like I would bring you on in the presentation for somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes, and I just ask you a couple questions. Who are you? What's your kind of background? Put it this way, right? Farmers don't lie. Marines don't lie. If you're able to like float around the Earth in a nuclear powered submarine, you're probably not a liar, and then so maybe, but probably not. So anyways, going back, a review on the book would be great. Join FX Bootcamp. We have a great time. We've added new features, right? Yeah, Johnny's like, can never confirm or deny. I would say it this way. Hey, you got a problem? Talk to the nukes. Solves all the problems, right? Yeah, talk to the boss. And then lastly, I want you to use Trader's Way as your foreign exchange broker. They're good. You'll like them. All the features and benefits you're looking for, they have. Great. But you get promised all those features and benefits from a lot of other brokers too. So you're like, man, everybody seems to promise me the same thing. Well, the one thing that's unique is I recommend tradersway.com. Because I can confirm those features and benefits that they promise you are true. They actually deliver. Many, many, many brokers are less truthful, less honest. And I can confirm that because I've been working with foreign exchange brokers for about 25 years. So Trader's Way, earn my loyalty and respect. Try them out. I recommend them. All right. Lucas, this says, when you say it out loud, the diversity of people in our group is amazing. It really is. Like, I believe Denise has experience in the futures market, like on the trading floor type experience. Now, I'm not quite sure what that is, but she knows her stuff. And the other thing about us being diverse, there's a common thread where like people have ridiculous, sickening work ethic, and I always talk about that. But that's what I like about like the swing trading group and the day trading group. I like being surrounded by unusual people. Like, it's unusual in the world if you're a busy person and the only time you have to focus on Forex is at 4 a.m. So you get up at 4 a.m. I know people in our group do that. Or like you, Lucas, you're also busy, in this case, raising a family and managing a farm. And the only time you don't have time available to come to the swing trading group and day trading group. So you log in from the tractor. You're like, what? You're like, yeah, I can see you tilling the field in the background as you're bumping around, right? And I'm like, you're still in the field. That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous person. That's why I like you. That's ridiculous. What kind of person does that? My kind of friend. Okay? My kind of people. That's who does that. Amazing, ridiculous, sickening work ethic. Yeah, my kind of folk. All right. All right, so dollar strong today. That's what we were looking for. Aussie coming down. We'll probably want to look at the ASX. Hang on, I got to get my flower out of the way. Again, thank you to my daughter. Again, it's like one of these weird things. Once a week we should take a picture of like what's on Wayne's desk. I got a nice flower. Here's that bottle of wine I finished the other day. Look at that. Oh, it's still on my desk. I got rid of it. Look at that. 2015, and it's still way too strong. So I'm gonna put there's 2 more cases of this stuff. And it's going to sit in the cellar now another 10 years. It needs another 10 years. But anyways, it's weird that it's sitting on my desk. So I finished that the other day. All right. So anyways, pig, yeah, about the same really on the pig. Aussie coming down. Great, great, great. Manuel says, you're a great teacher. I'm now a consistent trader. Oh, awesome. Congratulations. Richard says, you're a good educator. Oh, thank you, Richard. Yeah, Johnny, you know what? I don't know what went on with that. I swear I clicked the button both on and off. So I think maybe it just might be recording still, the empty room. It might just be like it's still recording. That's the only thing I can think of, that I clicked stop and it didn't stop, and I left and it's still recording. But so anyways, Johnny, what we had done, and you can still do this yourself, I suppose. Let me log into FX Bootcamp. So Johnny, one of the things we did, I went around the world and we talked about, for about an hour and a half, I went through all the charts. Oh wait, there it is. That's it right there. Hang on. It just took 12 hours. It was a long meeting. Hang on. This might be it. Yeah, it's taking a long time to load. It's such a big video. Hours, you know, people just don't do what we do. It's ridiculous. Hang on. Hang on. It's taking a long time to load. It just popped up. Yeah, well, it popped up at 6:30. Hang on. It's taking a long time to load. It's such a big file for them. They're, you know, so I used to host it on Vimeo, and now it's sort of built into the server, but it's a huge file, right? So I'll have to complain that it's that slow that they'll have to upgrade, whatever. Hang on. Yeah, it's taking its sweet time. Well, let's watch this together for a second here. I want to see how long it takes. There we go.
Hang on. There we go. There we go. I wish there was a way to minimize me a little bit. I don't know if I can. There's this.
So it looks different when I'm recording.
Turn spotlight on, turn spotlight off. Okay, I just turned a spotlight on. Did it change anything?
It did change in the recording.
I said no change. All right, so I don't know what that does. Maybe it's just for me to look at. But so you click 3 little buttons and you pop it out somehow. So you can maximize, you can full screen. So there's stuff you can do, I believe.
So I'm getting used to the software, obviously.
The color behind my name. Oh, I get that's nice. That's very useful. All right, cool. I guess I can spotlight you guys maybe and like, oh, nice, Youngie was nice today, and I colored his name.
So I see what it's doing now. I have
use the FedWatch tool, and this is what I want to show you.
I have to tell it which one to be big screen.
These things change.
It's weird because it's only in the recording.
Data. It shows you what the market is thinking because it is negotiated prices, not opinion.
I know.
That's what I like about it. It's money. Cool. Also, I think one of the things we learned as I squirmed all through January.
All right, so that goes on a long time. The cool thing is you can speed it up. But now I understand. So when I'm broadcasting, it's one view for me. It's one view for you. And it's a third view for the recording. So now I know what that button is trying to do. So when I'm doing it, it doesn't seem to do anything. But I have to say, make this the featured. All right, I get it now. Okay. So it kind of sucks, but so I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, the video's there. Hey, live and learn. Change is good, let me tell you. Okay. Well, you won't see it if you're not a member of the swing trading group. If you're not a member of the swing trading group, you won't see it. That's how the system works. You probably don't see any of the videos there. All right. Let's get going. Let's get on with it. Stock markets. Okay. So remember yesterday, I said yesterday was a bounce day. Remember that? Well, what can I say? It's there. Refresh. I know Arve should be able to figure it out. Arve knows his stuff. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know what it is. I can fix it right now. Let me do that. And I feel so much depends on the weather. I'm supposed to do something because there's a default securities setting. And because it wasn't available last night till now, I wasn't able to change it. That's right. Okay. So I will change this to, for example, I got to go Thursday swing trading. Okay, I update that. And that's the thing. You're being blocked because you're not a member of the day trading group, which is the default security because they have access to everything. And day trading group now should be there. So I go save, and now you will be able to see it. There we go. And I feel so much depends on the weather. All right, cool. So we got our rollover now. Look at how our buy zone and our sell zones are just working tickety-boo on the Australian Stock Exchange. Huh? So how about that? That's pretty, right? So we're going to follow that down. That suggests risk off. My pleasure, everybody. I mean, look, honestly, like, I thank you. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for the effort. Thank you for the focus. Thank you for the energy. You know, like very often when I go into these meetings with you guys, I'm exhausted, right? I've been working all day and trading all day or being in meetings all day or doing other things like all day. I'm exhausted. And then we go into like a day trading meeting or a swing trading meeting, and you bring so much energy. It's amazing. And it empowers, right? You know, A, you keep me sharp, but B, you keep me focused. C, you give me the energy. And D, I have to be inquisitive because you know all my old stories and you know all my own training. You're like, this is when he's going to talk about this story. And sure enough, here comes the story. So I have to keep growing. I have to keep getting, you know, I need more. So in my part-time, I'm studying structured finance right now. And we talked about that a little bit last night on how I can guarantee you a return. Interesting, right? So all I can say is I could be slothy and lazy, but not when you're around. So yeah, thank you. It's good to have a boss. You're my boss. It's good to have a boss to keep you on your toes. Huh? When the cat is gone, the mice will play. Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you, Neri. All right, so anywho, S&P 500 still coming down. I'm now at 20% cash. I don't remember how much. I think I'm about 15% hedged. Okay, 15% of the total account hedged, literally short the S&P 500. About 20% of the total account is cash. And the rest are in positions I either can't get out or new positions that I don't want to get out. Some of the trades, some of the stock I bought in the last 6 to 12 months, you know, on the dips, they're up 30%. 30%, right? So look, so some of my stocks are up 30%. Some are down 30%. And a bunch of it I'm actually short, and the others I'm in cash because I'm going to let it fall and maybe by the end of the year make a big reinvestment back into the stock market. But nonetheless, this is doing what many would think should be done, and so we've had to make some difficult decisions lately, and it seems to be okay right now, right? Those decisions. So cool. One of the stocks I'm watching, we talked about it 6 months ago. I'm like, Cameco. And Johnny's like, Cigar Lake? I'm like, what? Yeah, I like cigars, but I don't know anything about no Cigar Lake. He's like, no, Cigar Lake, Saskatchewan. I'm like, bro, I'm from Saskatchewan. I've never heard of Cigar Lake. No, Cameco. I'm like, what are you talking about? Cameco's in Cigar Lake. And all of a sudden you're like, dude, like that's the whole thing. Like I talk about a random company. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we got a couple of minutes. Thanks for bringing that back up. Sorry. I talk about a random company I'm doing research on, and there's members of our group that just know 10 times more than me. And I love that. I find that so fascinating. So let's go back. Let's watch the news come out on, I guess, all dollar pairs, I guess. Or maybe just specifically this one. Okay. Now, by the way, the reason I'm interested in that Cameco is it turns out it's one of the only companies in sort of, let's say, the Americas or even the Western world that can take uranium and convert it from, because the first part is you got the uranium, then you got to remove any rock and other materials, so you get, let's say, pure uranium, but unrefined. And at some point, you got to turn this stuff, as you refine it, you got to turn this uranium into a gas as part of the process of refinement, right? And let's just say that's somewhat of a complicated process. It's the only company that does it. If you need fuel from uranium, it needs to be enriched and refined, right? And there's a gasification process. And it turns out it's the only company that can do it. They bought Westinghouse, right? So like, not only do they dig this stuff out of the ground, not only do they handle various parts of the supply chain, not only do they, I think they even make some of the equipment, but now in that enrichment refining process to turn uranium into fuel so you can use it in a nuclear power plant, which I think is going to become quite popular in the next 25, 50 years, they seem to be the only ones that do it. So I want to buy it. And I mentioned something like that, and Johnny's immediately like, oh, Cigar Lake, Saskatchewan. I'm like, oh, dude, next level. Like, oh my God, I didn't even know that. But so that's one that I'm interested in buying. If there's a dip and the stock market drops another 20% by the end of the year, that would be one that I'm earmarking for a buy. So looking at this, I currently have almost 200 pips on this trade. So we'll see how this goes. I thought we'd have a hot number. Get ready for the flip though. It's just a 1 minute. So yeah, it hasn't done really anything. It's just going to be all over the place. Cool. Do we have a number? Does anybody have it? I'm going to change this to, I want to see more pivot points. So I'm going to put it to daily confluence bearish. Cool. I'm now at 2,600 pips. It's not bad for 4 trades. Get green on the screen here, not in the candle, but in the price, in the zone. Oop, now I'm way too far out. Sorry. We're at those weekly targets. Remember, the target for the week is 105. Thank you, Meta. We're at 105, so there should be another 50 pips to the downside. For the weekly target, remember the daily target we just hit. We just hit the daily target. You can see that, right? Okay. So the trade plan for today, sell at 106, exit 105.50. But really the target for the week is 105. So we call that an Arctic turtle. I don't know if you've heard that expression. It's when there's two targets for the market on the same day. This is a daily target. This is a weekly target. So an Arctic turtle, what it explains is like the market stretches out like a turtle, stretching its neck out of the shell to try to get the leaves. But it's slow as molasses, right? Because it's the Arctic. It's a cold-blooded animal. And what happens? Boom, it gets its head chopped off. And you get this pop this way. That's why it stretches out and then it gets chopped off. So I don't know, vivid, I know. But that's like, so here's, for some of the market, that's the target. For some of the markets, that's the target. And what will happen is both really want this one. So maybe they'll stretch out the hang on a little bit longer, and then everybody gets out here, and that's why it snaps back. Okay. And I feel it. And I'm feeling, oh. All right, let's take a look under the hood. So I'm almost exactly 200 pips profit on that now. Cool. Nice little trade. All right, let's take a look. Okay. All right, down, down, down. These are the eyes of misery, but would you even care? All right. It's getting smaller, 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 smaller. That's not the... Why am I not getting the current one? Actually, this is pretty interesting. Oh, look, they're having problems, huh? There we go. Oh, yeah, so you look at the pop. 4, 3, 6. Huh. Okay, negative 0.2, negative 0.1, 1.8. Prices 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.6. Annual 6.3, 6.1, 5.6, 5.3. See, everything's getting better. Uh-oh. Okay, even core. Even chord. All right. 5.2, 5.1, 4.8, 4.6. Everything's getting better. 4.7. Oh, snap. Yeah. Anyways, look, we hit target and stopped. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. It's daily target. But like I said, this short at 107 predicts 10512. So let's just call sell at 107, exit 105. That's a standard swing trade. So there might be some meat on this bone yet, but of course we got short-term volatility. Okay. But it seems down to me. Cool. What else is going on? Let's see. Okay, on Sunday, remember on Sunday in the day trading group, this was our trade plan. Sell right there. That's what that triangle is. Look, lovely to your mum. Nice and easy. Lemon squeezy. Love Forex trading. Love it. So yes, you can see how clear our planning is. Okay. Lovely to your mum. Okay. How about this one? You can see the trade plan, eh? Oh, for sure, eh? Up, 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 down, down, buy. Oh, but Wayne, it's not perfect. All right, well, whatever. You do you. Up, 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 down, down, up, 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 down, down, up, 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 up. We're approaching weekly target. 136.38 is the conservative target, but what this chart says is 137, bullish profit zone, 136.92. So we're at 15. I think we can go up another, 80 pips. Cool. Euro dollar, we already did that. Remember, like on this chart, for some of you that are just trading PCE, I want to make a point. You're trading PCE and you're thinking about, should I get in? Should I get in? Should I get in? The way I teach you is, if you're bearish on euro dollar, you should be in here or in here. You're not making decisions of whether you should sell here because this is an exit zone. And you're like, but PCE just came out. Well, you knew all week, son, that PCE was coming out. Okay? So here's my point. A lot of amateur traders are just putting on trades now, and it's got to be the worst possible time to start trading. Okay? Right? That is supposed to be your trade. You're supposed to be in here, not trading 1 minute after the news. Professional traders are considering exiting. Should they exit at 105.50 or 105? That's the decision you should be making right now. Okay? Now, my trade is in from last week. Okay? And here's what I did. Down, 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 up, up, sell. And I've been proactively doing nothing on this trade for a couple of weeks. And now I have to decide, should I take profit? This is me working really, really hard. Should I take profit now or should I take profit later? Is 200 pips good enough or should I go for 250? Those are the decisions you should be making. This is just a boring swing trade. In fact, if I go out even further, okay, my actual target is not 105, but 104.50. So I'll probably end up just leaving it. Okay. But anywho, that's how I try to teach you. Oh, PCE came out. Oh, look at that. Trade, trade, trade. Go, go, go. Buy, buy, buy. Sell, sell, sell. No, no, no. You're better than that. Okay. This is how I want you to trade. Okay. 3 weeks ago, we identified a double top. Trade number one, opportunity number one. Number two, lower low, lower high. I even drew a circle. We kicked off the moving average. Here's the target. And it's so slow that you might not notice. If you're stuck in the forest and all you see a bunch of trees, then you're in the dark. Okay? Okay. What you don't see, and I guess I have to kind of change this a little bit. I know that ellipse is hard to see. I guess I'll just get rid of the ellipse. Okay. If you back out so you can see the forest a little bit, it's a very, very, very easy trade. Down, 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 up, up. Oh, look, I even have the triangle here. Okay, sell somewhere in there, and sell, and the target is down here. So you're like, oh my God, look at it today. Wayne, why is it so weak today? Dude, you're stuck in these little tiny candles. This is all you see is what it's doing today. Okay, I think you should have been short this 2 weeks ago. And you're collecting profit today, and you're not thinking about today. You're thinking, well, all right, well, M3 is the top, so M1 is going to be the bottom, and so hopefully we get a little bit of a break, and then there'll be a pullback next week, and then there'll be a drop, and then in here I'm going to have to blah 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 blah. And you're just you're days and days and days ahead of someone that just reacts to like PCE news. Okay, see? There's the difference. So I'd rather you be short here and targeting here than pissing around with all this little volatility. The point, another way to make the same point, if all you're trading is the volatility around the news, like this sucker just dropped 50 pips and you're trying to catch it, your prime focus as a currency trader is to capture volatility. But my point is, to a professional institutional trader, volatility is bad. A professional trader avoids volatility and you run to it like a storm chaser. Look, a tornado! Go, go, go! Let's get to it as fast as possible. You should probably try to avoid the tornado. Okay? You're chasing the storm because it's fun, but it leads to bankruptcy. Okay? Okay? So here's what we talked about in the day trading group. I don't think we covered this last night. Maybe we did. Yeah, I think this week we had a sell here. I mean, the whole idea is sell off the bands. Nice. Okay? We have this as a top. That makes sense. Why? That's where resistance is. And down, 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 up, up, sell. Down, 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 up, up, sell. And storm chasers find this candle fun and exciting. So they're not looking at it on a 4-hour chart. They're looking at it on a 5-minute chart. And they're like, this is so much fun. This is so exciting. Okay, yeah, probably is. I would rather you be short here, 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 I don't know, here, I don't know. Okay. This is where you would probably think about exiting versus entering. And yet the amateur traders are trying to catch this as it goes up and down and up and down. And if you ever wonder why there's so much volatility and you're like, oh, this is where market makers are clearing the market and hunting stops. And I'm like, dude, if you sold here like you were supposed to, you're thinking about exiting for profit down here. Meanwhile, an amateur is trying to catch it and make a bunch of quick money. Well, you need people like that. They're called liquidity events. Because a profitable trader needs to exit a trade with high volatility going on. And so they need to sell the position that they own to somebody that really doesn't know what they're doing, or at least disagrees. Okay, so again, if you go out to an hour chart, think about it. Okay, think about it this way. This and this, really the first one, okay, are obvious sell trades. Okay, obvious. Okay, if you don't know how to put that together, join FX Bootcamp. You'll learn basic technical analysis. That's like kindergarten stuff, right? And then there's another sort of a area in here. Okay, kindergarten stuff. But for someone who sold up here, which is what you're supposed to do, down, 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 up, up. So somewhere in these prices, there's been a down, 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 up, up, another opportunity to sell. And now that there's a down, down, they may actually be looking to take profit. Not that they have to, but they're like, that's good vol, went their way. And maybe they want to exit on a Friday or whatever. But look, those people are thinking about getting out. And there's some newer trader that's trading the news, scalping the news, but they're not in the bigger, better trades. And so someone might just say, okay, well, I'm going to get out now and re-enter Monday. So, hey, liquidity event. Take the other side of my position. I want to cash out. See, what they're doing is somebody's cashing out for profit. They're putting money in their bank, and you're paying to take over that position, but they're already out. All the profit's been drained, usually. So I'd say that's where that volatility comes from. So I think they're in this period here, for anyone that's sold here or for anyone that's sold here, and actually I should erase that. That's a lucky trade. This is the obvious trade, this one. Okay, so there might be trader A here, trader B here. I think there's even a trader C in here. Although it's not as good, it may just be a follow-on. And I think A, B, and C, at least A and B, are going to think about getting out here because it's enough. But even C probably felt like their trade was mediocre, valid but mediocre. So they're like, oh my God, I actually got down to M1. And they exit maybe because they feel like it was a flip of the coin and they hit it, right? So they're like, all right, good enough. So there's a lot for people to want to get out of this trade, even though they're right. In fact, because they're right, they want to get out of it. And so those that are just selling now, you're taking over these guys' position. Because remember, what is a bear doing here and here and here at this lower price? Think about this. This is an interesting concept. What do bears, A, B, and C bears, do at this price and at this price? That's what the chart tells me. It's not my opinion. That's what the chart says. But what do they do there? They buy. The bears buy. They have buy limit orders. But that's what, like, Hunt for Trade says, take profit. Well, that's a buy order. You have to understand they're thinking, okay, this is my price in which I want to buy, which offsets their sell position. But then they're like, well, I got to cover my spread and I want to get out a couple of pips before, so their limit orders are here. Because if they put it at exactly the pivot point, they have to go below the pivot point because they have to cover their spread. So they have to put their limit order a little bit above. But then they're worried about, well, what if some people exit before me and we never quite hit? So then they put that maybe another 5 or 6 pips above the pivot. And then they have to cover that spread. So now they're about 10 pips above the pivot. So like target might be, let's say, 61.50, but they put their stop at, or their buy order at 61.75 because they want to get out a little bit early to make sure they get cleared out, because you don't know how liquid the market's going to be down there. So someone sells here, they're making money, and to get out, they have to buy here. And this is where amateurs lose money. PCE comes out, it drops like a ton of bricks, and what? The amateur goes sell, sell, sell. And the professional goes buy, buy, buy. But the buy only takes them out for profit. And they're selling, what they're actually doing is transferring their sell order to you because you're selling late if you're that amateur. And of course, it's not a good place to sell because we're at the end of the trade. That's the thing. Okay? That's the thing. This is the end of the trade. This is the target. The green zone is the target, not the entry. So to start selling here, yeah, all right, okay, all right. Too bad, right? It just shows there's no trade plan at all. Okay? So anywho, let's look at metals. Here's gold. Okay. Here's a great example, I guess, to follow up. Down, 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 and I sold the pullback. And then it rolled over. Sell, sell, sell. Down, 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 down. Up, up. You could. Sell, sell, sell. Down, 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 down. Up, up. Sell, sell, sell. Down, 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 down. Up, up. Oh, it's holding. It's holding. It's holding. It's holding. It's holding. It's holding. Down, 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 up, up, sell, sell, sell. Down, 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 up, up, sell, sell, sell. Off we go. HOTT-OGO, ooh, hot to go. Cool. Palladium, it's got a wide spread on it. Where am I now on palladium? I have $1,600 on one mini lot. Now, I think the mini lot cost me $300. So at $300, I'm up 100%. At $600, I'm up 200%. Okay. At $900, I'm up 300%. On $1,200, I'm up 400%. I'm up 500% in 10 days. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Cool. Love it. Love that money. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Huh? Palladium. Who thought? Who would have thought palladium? Yeah, it's a tricky beast, though. It looks pretty, but it's a tricky beast. Let me ask you, though, looking at the monthly pivot, let me just clear this out. Only look at monthly. Let me redo this. Just monthly pivots. Okay. And then I back this out a little bit. What do you think? Okay. What do you think? This is palladium using monthly pivots. Okay. Okay. Look at, these are all monthly pivots. Look how long we hung around this S2. Does it appear to you that professional palladium traders use monthly pivot points? Definitely, right? So, Frank, here's my point. You can have a reasonable certainty that because you understand what they're doing, you can understand what they're probably going to do before they've done it. Okay? So there's no doubt in my book, professionals took profit here and re-entered here. Look at this. they had that price, $1,364.50 as a price. Now you're like, but Wayne, it went a little bit lower. That's the point I was trying to make on the other asset. The traders had to cover their spread because they're short. So it has to go slightly lower so that the top line, the red line, has to touch $1,364.50. So the black line has to go lower. The red line touches it. And look, dude, they took profit. Okay? Richard said, did I come up with the M1? No, but the first time I heard about pivot points, nobody used midpoints. Like, in fact, nobody used pivot points. But the few people that mentioned them, and there was a guy selling a course on pivot points. And I think it was the only course I've ever taken. And it was the dumbest thing ever. It was so useless. And you had to pay even more money for him to give you the formula. So you didn't know what the pivot points were going to be. You had to log into his website, and then he would tell you where to put the pivot points on your chart. So you had to like literally draw the lines. And someone else somewhere had a midpoint or something. Somehow it came up. I don't know who, or I can't credit anybody. I certainly didn't invent them, but it wasn't something I taught either. And I thought that guy's course was dumb. It was stupid. He said, look, if it's not working, it's like flying an airplane. If the pivot points tell you to buy and you're losing money, just turn them upside down and sell. I'm like, it's so dumb. Like if buying doesn't work, sell. And if selling doesn't work, buy. Like, it was so dumb. But I'm like, but I could see there was something going on here. So I paid a programmer. Okay. I paid a programmer. And back then it was a lot of money. In one of the early GFT deal book platforms so it would, because I figured out what the formula was, and I was able to then have the lines, instead of logging into his website, getting the numbers and then manually plotting them, it would just automatically do it. And I noticed that I like the midpoints better than the actual pivot points. So I spent, I don't know, months and months and months, right? Maybe an entire year looking for patterns. And so I know nobody taught me to, like, if I'm a bull, buy at M2 and go to M4. Nobody ever taught me that. If there was anything, people would say, buy if it's above the central pivot and exit at resistance. And if it's not resistance 1, it would be resistance 2. Well, I studied that, and I'm like, that doesn't actually hold true in reality. In fact, most of the time, R1 was irrelevant. And waiting to buy above the central was often too late. So I looked at what kind of was taught in the stupid course. I'm like, this is stupid. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. I guess it makes sense to above is the central. If it's above the central, it's bullish. Then, but then it's so late. And then exit at R1, you just got going. And then, like, so anyway, so I'm like, I can see these numbers, there's something going on. But there's something better, there's a way better to do it. So anyway, so I studied it for a year. And I found my own way through the forest. Through scientific methodology. Like, when I say I studied it, I studied it. I analyzed it every day, day after day after day, asking myself questions, not just trading them and seeing what works. And I discovered how the market works, not anything else. Like, there was no predetermined Does this work? Does that work? No, I only analyzed what happened. So I do think, so I found a pattern, for example, if you're a bear, and of course the market's bearish, okay, you sell at this price or this price. You got to remember when I first saw a pivot point, right? M3 didn't even exist. So I noticed a different pattern. So it's really that zone. Now the next, and I looked at thousands of setups like that. And then I found a pattern that said, well, if that ends up being the top in a downtrend, then this is the target. And then, of course, I also found if we hit the target here, here, and here, they lead to different outcomes. Just like the difference between is this the top or that the top? That leads to different outcomes. So I might look at this simple little pattern and say there's about 9 scenarios that I think are consistent, depending on the time and depending on the price. But so that was never taught. But where did I get the M's? I must have just heard somebody say it somewhere and I popped them on and I analyzed and I liked them, and that was that. But I remember the course so well. I was on vacation. I was in Canada in a place called Radium Hot Springs. I rented a huge cabin up way on high in the mountain, overlooking the valley below, huge decks, huge open space, just fresh air, views of the Canadian Rockies. And I'm sitting out with a cup of coffee, and I got a booklet that came with the course. And I got about to page 20, and I had finished my cup of coffee. And I threw the book away and I said, this is the dumbest thing ever. And I will never buy a training course again, because there were not gurus back then and there were not training courses. So it was just more intriguing. Like there's some Forex trader and he's using some sort of like pivot thing. I'm like, I wonder if that's helpful. And I couldn't even get through 20 pages. And there was certainly no mention of M pivots. So there you go. Now, if I knew, I would say it, but I don't recall. I don't know. I don't think it's proprietary. The calculation, by the way, is you take the distance between S1 and S2, divide it in half, and you get M1. The distance from the central pivot and the S1, okay? M2 is just halfway, 50%. So if the distance between the pivot point and S1 is 100, then M2 is 50 pips away from both. It's just half. Okay? But nobody said this is a sell zone if you're a bear. Nobody taught me that. And nobody ever told me this is an exit. Okay? If you go to the Pete's Coffee in San Mateo next to a Whole Foods store, I named this spot my pivot profit zone at that Pete's Coffee in probably 2006 or 2007. I thought about it. I created it. Nobody ever said it. No one ever taught me it. No one ever said that's an exit zone. I just knew from years of analysis that if I were me, I would exit in these prices. And I wanted to make it clear in the book that you don't really trade there. You take profit there. And I thought about it, drinking my coffee. I can even tell you what I was wearing. That's weird, huh? A nice black ensemble, right? And I thought about it, looking at the window. Franklin Templeton, the mutual fund company, their offices are right there. I was looking out at the street and I'm pondering and I'm drinking my cappuccino. And I'm like, the pivot profit zone. Yes, pivot profit zone. That's the zone in which you get out of a trade, not in. Okay? And that's where these things were born. I wonder if that place is even still there. It's weird. And I feel so much depends on the weather. Well, there's the Whole Foods. Is that it? That doesn't look like it. It's fancier. Park Place, San Mateo, yeah. So you order, but there's a back room. Oh, we're so close. There's a back room where you can sit just big enough for a laptop. Boy, that's way bigger than I remember. They must have upgraded. Yeah, they had a little back room, just enough to sit with a laptop right against the window. Oh boy, wouldn't it be cool if there was a picture? Huh. Hang on, I won't stay too long on this. It's just fun for me. I know it sucks for you, but hang on. That's it, huh? So no one took a picture of the little back room. Or it's a different store. I think they might have moved over and got a bigger store, because the Pete's, the way I remembered, it was quite a small store. And this seems to have a lot more seating in the front. Yeah. Anywho, this Pete's Coffee, whether it's this store or 25 feet left or right, I remember being on the corner, so it must have been 25 feet to the right. Maybe they got a bigger store. But, yeah, that ain't it. Anyways, that's where the pivot profit zone for pivot points were invented. Well, Richard says he loves pivots, but he trades on the TD Ameritrade platform. There must be a programming language, and you'll hire a programmer to do it for you. That's what I did back in 2004. 2004, I'm like, I liked pivot points, but they're not available. So I just paid money and I hired somebody, and he solved my problem. I forget what the language was, CTL or something. And I finally found some dude somewhere. And I'm like, I gave him money, he gave me code. Problem solved. That's what I love about money. Cool. So, yeah, so this is pretty good. So after about 10 days, 2,600 pips. That's a good 10 days, huh? 4 trades. It's only 4 trades. Cool. Let's move on. Let's see the reaction to the rest of the commodity market, like oily oil. Oily oil. So this comes from our our swing trading meeting last night. And this is great. This is the mind's eye. I did training on the mind's eye. And I said, if you do it right, it will prevent you from making bad trades. And what our trade plan was to be ready for this. That's what the X is. The X is the price in which we were wanting to sell, price, but we didn't know when to pull the trigger. And so we talked about it. I drew it and everything. And I did a big sort of rehash about your mind's eye. And I said, if you're very wrong, it will lead you to a no trade scenario. And by all accounts, it was wait, don't sell. Cool. And now maybe things are going to change. Okay? And maybe we got something like this and it's setting up. But this is exactly what I was talking about last night. You set up an ambush, but the enemy did not walk through your trap. So you pack up, you go back to base, no shots fired, no KIAs. Huh? It was a good day, didn't even need my AK. Cool, huh? Guys, just hire a programmer, find someone, and say, use TD Ameritrade's platform, and you need someone to make a custom indicator for the charts. Someone will say, I know how to do that. Cool. Look at that, eh? And I feel it. All right, gold is like right on target, bro. Holy snap. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. Oh, God. Nice. Cool, huh? Now, I would assume that's going to pull palladium down with it, but I've noticed that it's not quite 100% true. Our nat gas is still paying off. Is anybody here still long nat gas on my arbitrage trade? Anybody? Who actually went long money? Richard, I'm not short palladium. I'm long dollar. Okay. Actually, let me go back. Let me answer that question. Let me be a little less facetious. Okay. Let's go to metals. Okay. Wrong one. Market. Why am I short palladium? Two things. I want to buy dollar, so I'm shorting metals that need, okay? And then the second one, so I'm short gold, so I'm short palladium. But why palladium? Why not platinum? Why not silver? So I go over here, and I've been in this trade just over a week, and I'm earning about $15, $16 a week in positive carry. There's a huge carry trade. I get paid to sell palladium. And as a percentage, dude, it's a lot. We did this calculation yesterday. I don't remember what my margin is on that mini lot, but I think it's like $300 is what my guess is. Okay? But let's say I'm earning $15 a week selling palladium times 52 weeks, $780. So I'm making about 200 to 250% a year. It's like a bond. I can't lose money on this trade. You have to understand that. If I can hold a year, I will earn 250% return on investment on the money I put toward that trade. So we call that internal rate of return. For every dollar I risked, I get $2.50 back. Plus my original money. I get that returned because it's just margin. So if I got $300 in, when I exit the trade, let's say it comes back, knocks me out at break even, I will have a total of $1,000. My original $300 back, actually $1,100. My original $300 plus $800 that I've already collected, you see? So now I have $1,100. I turned $300 into $1,100. Just in income. So I think that's really cool. So now the thought process, now I'm up 2,700 pips on 4 trades in a week and a half. But what I'm trying to do actually is I want to find ways to hedge these positions. So actually this is a bit of a failed trade. I'm short the Mexican peso here. Well, actually, I guess it's kind of working out because I used to be up $400 on this. Now I'm only up 160. But to hedge it, I'm selling. So I'm selling dollar on this trade. On this trade, I'm buying dollars, and I'm trying to offset. So you know what I mean? So it's funny because I used to be doing a lot better on this trade, and I wasn't doing as good on this trade. So what I've learned is it's not a good hedge. I might need 2 mini lots on the euro to offset my 1 mini lot on the peso. But I am trying to hedge these things. Now, the interesting thing, my choice of hedge, because I'm short dollar, I need to be long dollar on something else. I chose euro dollar to hedge my USD Mexican peso trade, my dollar peso trade, and I'm earning positive swap on the euro dollar. I'm getting paid to hedge. You see? So I'm collecting every day I get paid. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I'm short gold and I'm getting paid. I'm short palladium. I'm getting paid. I'm short Mexican peso. I'm getting paid. I'm short euro dollar. I'm getting paid. Huh? Money for nothing and chicks for free. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and chicks for free. Huh? I got to move those microwave ovens. Custom kitchen delivery. But to also know, before it's even happened, that there's going to be a bounce there. To know before it even happens, there's going to be some sort of price action to the bear right there before it's even happened. Okay? And if you exited here and did not enter, that's a great trade. And by the way, when we were there and I'm sitting on a real fat profitable trade, I made it very clear this was very certain to happen. And the risk is it goes even further and you lose everything. And I said, you're risking 50% of your profits. So you should just get out here. Why wait? And I think for those in the day trading group, when I gave that speech, there's no green candles. I'm sitting on a fat profitable trade. I'm like, dude, best case scenario, you're risking 50% of your profit. You should just get out. I should just get out, but I'm using my trade as an example. And sure enough, okay? And I'm like, well, you can get out here and re-enter a new trade here and see if that works. And at least you don't risk all that profit. You just start anew. And of course, that would have been the best trade ever. Okay. So cool. So those in the day trading group, I think, have received some of the most important lessons I could possibly give. And one of them is day after day after day after day of me staying patient and true to my bias without being stubborn or arrogant, instead squirming in the hot seat and then taking that negative energy and focusing it on positive things and focusing on the research and focusing on the discipline, focusing on the psychology. And now I went from wait to killing it. And the killing it to me isn't the point. That's easy. It's the patience and discipline part that I find I can talk about, but it's hard to teach. But to see me squirm every day for 5 weeks, I think that's the real lesson. Squirm, but survive. So again, thank you for giving me the strength to be able to do that. Here's my give back today on the peso. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's my give back. Oh. So I'm having a bad day today, if you want to call it that. Target for Euro Rand is 20, and then maybe, but I don't know. Interesting to look at. Looked at crypto maybe. Okay. Bitcoin down, Litecoin down, Ethereum down, Ripple down, Cardano down, Solana down. Risk off, Bubba. Buy some USD. Quickly take a look at the short-term indices. Looks like dollar's strong, Bubba. Oddly enough, euro's strong. Oh, is WTI Oscar Mike? Yeah. Yeah, this is the one, like, how long did I spend on this one yesterday? It was, what, a 20-minute discussion? 25-minute discussion? Yeah. Now you get paid, right? Cool, man. Yeah. Lovely to your mom, huh? Look at that. Just lovely. Lovely. Cool, man. So yeah, so my peso not doing well today. Shoot. Hey, yeah. This is interesting. So I'm at 2,800. If this goes to 3,500, that's up 10%. Yeah. Yeah, peso, it makes sense. It's just not peso's day if the dollar's that strong. Okay. Oil sell was nice. Yeah, but like I said, we set that oil up for a sell, and I talked about it for, it had to be close to a half an hour. It was the mind's eye speech. Yeah. So that's a beaut. Okay. The X was the price in which you would consider selling when or if it rolls over. And of course, we discussed what that means. And, well, anyways, that's our plan. Somewhere around there. So this is just highlighting support. So what I'm talking about is this. I had to look at multiple time frames to get that X. So I'm not just looking at this 1 hour and say, sell those wicks. No, actually, it had nothing to do with those wicks. But to drag this across was where we anticipated selling this. Now, you don't know, is it 75.5 or 76? Well, that's why you got to do your job. Okay? And I think if you were ready, willing, and able, what we call, right, RWA, if you're RWA at this price, you just don't know what time, double top, followed by lower low, followed by lower high. What's the secret word we use to describe this setup? Does anybody know the secret word? The secret word! Hammock. Exactly right. And you're like, hammock? Well, you need to know, you know? I mean, that's it. So, yeah. Clearly, I've talked about this before. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. You can take hours to set it up. Okay? And I say, you recognize this trade like an old friend. Yesterday, I talked about picking up an old friend at the airport. Okay? Hopefully, you recognize him. Why? Right? Okay? Okay? Now, that's technical analysis. That's the entry. I think that's easy. Going back to the day trading group and swing trading group, and I think it was more the day trading group. In this area right here, I highlighted fundamentally exactly and precisely why oil should fall. Oil prices should fall. I followed that up yesterday by reaffirming that those conditions still exist fundamentally. Had nothing to do with the price, had nothing to do with this chart, had nothing to do with PCE, had nothing to do with nothing except reality of the energy complex. And I reaffirmed that oil should fall using nothing but facts. I had to log into a government agency website to get the data. I showed the data and I'm like, see, look, down. Then we looked at the daily chart. See, look, this price, somewhere between 75, 76. And then you drill down in here, and that would have been the right time. Your technical analysis starts in a higher time frame and you find the price. Then you drop into a small time frame to do tactics, and it only tells you the time. You already know the price. You want to sell somewhere between 75 and 76. Well, when do you pull the trigger? That's what this is. That's the time. It's only about time at that point. And it turned out 75 and a half. So it's not really money for nothing, right? You should have known this trade that's working today. You should have known that a minimum of 8 days ago. That's why, like earlier with PCE, if you're all about scalping the volatility, it's just so small. Even if you make some money, you're such a small part of the market, right? It's like those no-see-em bugs that kind of just bug your face all the time in the summer. You can't even see them, but they're so small and so tiny, and they're annoying. I want you to be bigger. I want you to be researched. So how about this? Go back about 3 or 4 weeks ago in the swing trading group. I had everybody create a thematic trading approach, a thematic trading strategy. Okay? And this was probably when the US dollar was weak. And the example I gave over and over and over again was the theme that the US dollar is going to get strong. How many people can confirm that this is what we did in the swing trading group 3-4 weeks ago? Before the dollar strength. Thematic trading approach. And the idea is there's the law of one, Newtonian physics, through macroeconomic analysis, and your trading is carried out through the theme. And my theme was buy the dollar across the board. Turns out, apparently on those 4 trades, I don't know if I had made more, but okay. And of course, if these trades were this is only 10 days ago. So if it was 30 days ago, I'd be way better off than that. Okay. So again, I don't want you to focus on the trades being right. What I want you to focus on is the research, the preparation, the patience, and the discipline. Winning trades are not the point. How do you behave when you're wrong? Or let's say early. In this case, I was a month early. How do you behave then? How do you reaffirm your bias? How do you handle it emotionally and psychologically? How do you stay confident in your abilities even though the market disagrees with you? Remember, 99% of the market disagreed with me. Institutional, not retail. 99% of the smart money disagreed with me. And I had to say, well, I have to be careful. I have to reaffirm how I got to this bias. So I have to go back and do all the work again. But I didn't flip. I didn't say, well, everyone's positioned left, so I got to go left. No. I look at it, I'm like, no. People should be positioned right. So I just don't buy the dollar today. And then I didn't buy the dollar the next day. And then I didn't buy the dollar the next day. And then I didn't buy. 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 And then, you know, for 45 days in a row, didn't buy. Dude. And now imagine if you only trade 1 hour charts and 15-minute charts, the idea of waiting for 45 days in a row, it's implausible. Okay? But when I say patience and discipline, I mean, I don't always mean that much. But in the scheme of a year, in the scheme of 365 days, 30 to 45 days, 30 days to 45 days of patience, it's really not that big of a deal, is it? Right? So let's say in January, you made nothing. In February, turns out to be a good month. Maybe not a great month, not an amazing month. You really don't want those. Okay? But it's a decent month. Dude, it all works out at the end. At the end of the year, people look at it and are like, oh, well, you seem to be very consistent. Yeah. And that's what people want from you. Cool. So Bitcoin not really giving us any direction here. Stock market down another day, which makes sense to me. Again, I have 20 in my retirement account. It's now 20% cash, which is huge. Not it's millions of dollars of cash. Well, what I mean is, as a percentage in a retirement portfolio, 20% is huge. I also have 15% of my portfolio actually short the S&P 500. Not just selling out of long positions, that's where the 20% cash came from, but actually profiting on the way down. Hua? And the rest is just hold and pray. So anyways, I think we talked about everything we need to talk about. I think we'd just be repeating. So I think I'm going to go out in the world. Look at this. Now they're almost perfectly hedged. Interesting. I have learned that I probably need 2 euro-dollar shorts to cover my 1 Mexican peso short. Huh. So anyways, that's that. So I don't think that's going to last. There's going to be pullbacks and stuff yet today. So that's good. It was a good day. Didn't even need my AK. And speaking about AKs, ARs are now, according to Santos, what, the America's gun? Nice. So, congratulations to those who love their American-made automatic weapons. So, have a wonderful weekend. You know what? I should take a picture of the flower while I'm at it, huh? Let's do it this way. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a wonderful weekend. Cheers. Pachow. Hey, that just happened.